to the Most High God, my Father. I thank God that He have allowed us to come together and celebrate and praise for all the marvelous things that He is doing. On behalf of the new elected mayor of Hempstead Village, Reverend Bishop Waylyn Hobbs. God has truly been good. I stand here, I don't want to be long. I had wrote so many things down, I said I have to speak from the heart. Because I cannot tell it all. God blessed me with 4 lovely children. Beautiful children. 2 boys and 2 girls. I have never gone to jail, to any lawyer, paid any money to any lawyer or anything to get them out of trouble. I taught them as well as I knew how. And God blessed me with parents that knew the Lord and believed in Him. I know this is not a church service, but I have to tell it like it is. I could not have done it unless God was on my side. And I thank you. Because Waylyn, growing up as a young man, first of all, he was born and raised here in Hempstead. This is his home. He loved Hempstead. He loved the people. Not only here, he loved people, period. Waylyn, going through school, he was always, he'd have a test or exam, and I said, when did you study? He could just look at something. Like he had a mind that absorbed everything, and he would pass the test, not just pass. He would make A's. And I said, when do you study? He didn't have to. But you know what? It was a gift from God. When he started, God called him to pastor when he was 14 years old. And he came to me. It was a long process, but he came, when he did come to me, I said to him, are you really sure God called you to preach? Because I fear and reverence God because that's the way I was brought up. But down through the years, I know without a doubt, God called him to preach. He was called a pastor at Coney Island Cathedral after traveling all over the world evangelizing. And a couple of days ago, one of his senior members called me to congratulate me. She said, Mother Hobbs, he's so blessed. He does so many things. She said, the only thing I say, if it even has to come to where he can't come 2 Sundays out of a month, please let him keep coming. I pray he never stop coming to Coney Island for the job that he has done over there. Just make my heart happy. He's on the board, the hospital in Medical Hospital. I was there. I met the chief of staff, CEO, and some others. And they were saying to me, oh, you're his mother? Oh, please, he's such a wonderful person. He does a great work, so we need him here. Everywhere I go, it's the same story. I have got so many calls congratulating me on behalf of my son Waylyn as being the mayor. I said, you know, I almost feel like a star. But I feel like, and I know it's all because of God. And I thank God for Waylyn. Waylyn, you know I love him from the depths of my heart. And when he was a little boy, my mother, who lived to be shy 102 by 3 months, she said to me as he was growing up, she said, you know what, that boy is peculiar. That's what she said. She said, I don't know what he's going to be. One day he's going to be a doctor, a lawyer, a preacher, a teacher, or a murderer. That's what my mother said. She said, watch what I tell you. And she said, whatever he be, he's going to be the best at it. And I thank God for that. And Waylyn, you wear a lot of hats. standing on the shoulders of other men. I know Mayor Gardner and all the other mayors that came along. I know all of them. So I feel like you're standing on their shoulders. So I say to you, do a great work. I know you will. Because one thing I tell everybody, they look at me when you start passing, thinking they were going to tell you what to do. I said, forget it. You're not going to tell him what to do now. I tell you that. But he's going to be honest and fair and be led by the Spirit of God. And Hempstead people, I tell you, you have a man after your heart and God's own heart. He's going to be fair and do what he can to improve the village of Hempstead. Because we all need repair. One way or another, we all need working on. All right, so just work with him and support him. We are one. It shouldn't be a lot of pulling here and pulling there. We are one. Work together, love one another. And the job is easier. And to each and every one of you in your respective places, God bless you all. Honor and respect to all of you. And I love you. And let's just work together. Work together. You won't have no problems out of me. Love my son. Treat him right. Because I love him. I love him. And God bless you all. God bless you.
Help celebrate the Queen Mother. Come on, that's the Queen Mother. We celebrate her today. A proud mother. We're so glad that he became mayor and not murderer. We are so glad on today. We are so glad. It's a lot of preachers here. They could do something with that. But we're glad that he became mayor and not murderer. At this time, the pastor of the Antioch Baptist Church and representing the Baptist Ministers Conference of Hempstead and vicinity, Bishop Philip E. Elliott will come now.
Grace, mercy, and peace be multiplied unto us all. What a privilege it is. Before I came up, I got a revelation that Donald Trump did not show up for Biden's inauguration, but these mayors have showed up. These former mayors have showed up for Bishop Hobbs. Let's celebrate them. Thank you for your integrity and the spirit of unity. To the dais, to the guests, and also to our keynote speaker, a good friend who's been kind to all of us, Governor Patterson, as well as to all the elected officials, and to the presiding officer, Dr. Cedric Easley. Let's give him a hand for presiding with dispatch. Thank you, sir. Kind sir. I'm speaking on behalf of the Baptist Pastors Conference of Hempstead and vicinity, of which I have been privileged to be the president for the past 20 years. And we came into existence because we discovered about 20 years ago that we couldn't get anything done being separate and divided. And we've come together, not just Baptists, but others have been allowed to come in with similar views. But I would like to acknowledge Bishop Hobbs' pastor, Reverend Dr. Joe Lewis Brown, who's among us, who is the vice president of the Baptist Pastors, as well as our treasurer, Dr. William Earl Thomas, who got the news that his oldest son died on yesterday. So he would be here to celebrate with us. Bishop Hobbs, I love this brother. I listen to everybody say all those nice things about him, but he really is a mean person. He really is mean. He's mean. He's the nicest mean guy I ever known, and I think that's what it takes. You cannot pastor Baptist people or black people being nice. You can't. No, that word nice is not in the Bible. It's not in there. It's not in there. But he, and I love iron sharpeneth iron. I love him because he's a strong brother. He speaks up, and we need that. He's not weak-kneed or weak spine. As a matter of fact, when I look at him, I think about the 7 men, the 7 preachers. When I was pastoring in Virginia some years ago, 7 preachers, and they said, y'all henpeck, all of y'all henpeck. And he said, I want all the henpecked guys to stand up. 6 of them stood up, and 1 guy did not stand up. He said, only 1 guy. And then he asked him, said, why didn't you stand up when the rest of the 6 henpecked preachers stood up? He said, I was going to stand up, but my wife told me I better not stand up. So Bishop Hobbs is a strong man who stands on his convictions, and that's why some of the churches, not exclusively, but Antioch, South Hempstead, Faith, Union Baptist, Bethlehem, First Baptist, Westbury, St. John, Emmanuel, Zion, and churches in Brooklyn who have members who live out here, we all came together and formed a coalition to assure your election. Would you help me celebrate those churches that believe in his concerns, his courage, his commitment, and his convictions? And we love you because you're bodacious, audacious, and tenacious. A charge to keep you have, a God to glorify, another dying soul to save and fitted for the sky, to serve this present age, your calling to fulfill. Or may you be endowed to do the Master's will. Congratulations, my brother.
Bishop Jason McCants will come now, representing Restoration Fellowship International, serving as second presiding bishop.
Giving glory to God, thanking God for this opportunity, to all the elected officials, to all of you, my father's children. I'm grateful to be here today to celebrate this great day in the village of Hempstead. Come on, put your hands together. And I'm grateful because of this great cabinet, and most of all, I'm here to speak about this great man, amen, Bishop Waylyn Hobbs Jr. I've been knowing him, and I've been serving with him for over 15 years. When I started pastoring, he invited me to come to the Restoration Fellowship and to be a part, and I've been with him now for over 15 years. And one thing I can say about him is that he loves people. And there are many people who are in these titles and in these positions, but they don't love people. They love the job, but they don't love people. And I'm confident as I stand here today to let the village of Hempstead know that he loves people and he's going to love you. I'm grateful today. I want to just leave this with you. We just finished celebrating Easter and Resurrection Sunday and Good Friday. And one word always sticks out to me, and that's word number 1, where it says, Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do. And the miracle of that word is that Jesus didn't forgive them after he got off the cross. And he didn't forgive them on Sunday when he got up, but he forgave them while he was nailed to the cross. He loved them while he was going through it. And I come to tell you today that you've got a leader today that's going to love you while you're going through it. I love you, Bishop. I love you, Village of Hempstead. God bless you.
At this time, Lieutenant Maurice Williams from the Coney Island Cathedral.
Good afternoon, everybody. Ooh, I feel important up here following all these great men and women. Thank you, thank you. I just want to say congratulations to Mayor-elect Bishop Hobbs. He came to Coney Island when I was probably a preteen, and he's been just an influential person in my life. He encouraged me to do right things, do the correct things. He came to Coney Island, a neighborhood that was going through a lot, and he took leadership and he helped turn that community around. So with that being said, y'all elected a really great man who's gonna lead this place into a better place. And he's definitely gonna leave this place better than what he found it. All right? So on behalf of Coney Island and Coney Island Cathedral, I say congratulations, Bishop. I love you, and thank you for being such an inspirational person in my life.
Thank you. We've heard from so many dignitaries here today, and we are so grateful, as I said earlier, to have friends of the village of Hempstead and certainly friends of our Mayor, Waylyn Hobbs. There are others who are here today that we do want to take a moment to celebrate. We also share with you, before we call names, if we miss a name, count it to our heads and certainly not to our heart. If you sit where I sit today, there's a sea of people here, and we are so happy to see all of you come out for this wonderful occasion on today. I do want to begin by celebrating Mayor Don Ryan, who is here on today, who now becomes former Mayor Don Ryan. I want to celebrate Mayor Wayne Hall and Lady Hall, who are here. Stand up so we can see you. Also want to celebrate one whose this street is named after, Mayor James A. Garner and his wife, Lady Garner. We want to celebrate Trustee Lamont Johnson, who is here on today, who has served this village well. Now former Deputy Mayor Charles Renfro, who is here today. He was here, we saw him. He had to go, okay, on today as well. Also, we celebrate Jack Sherman, who is the Comptroller of Nassau County, who is here on today. Celebrate him. James Sherman, Executive Director, Nassau County Democratic Party, is here today. Thomas Gary, who is the first Vice Chair of the Nassau County Democratic Party, who is here on today. We also celebrate another Queen Mother, our Councilwoman Dorothy Goolsby, who has served this community well, Senior Councilwoman. Edgar Campbell, who is here, Town Leader of the Town of Hempstead, who is here on today. Bobby Powell, representing the Hempstead branch of the NAACP. George Cimarron, Executive Director of Hempstead Hispanic Civic Organization. Happy to have the Honorable Judge Norman St. George, who is here with us today. Elaine Smith, Secretary to Nassau County Democratic Party, who is with us on today. Former Trustee A. Patricia Moore, who is with us today. And we do want to take time. There are so many clergy members here today. We're going to ask that all clergy, would you stand? All clergy, would you stand? There are many clergy members here today all over. All clergy, would you stand? Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I'm certain there are so many people here today that I may have left someone out. Please count it to my head and certainly not to our heart. At this time, we're going to ask again that the Calvary Tabernacle Choir would come and give us a selection.
Can we put our hands together for our new mayor? We just want to say on behalf of our Bishop Barrington, Golston, and Calvary, which is about 2 blocks down, we congratulate you, sir, for your win. And we're going to fight to ensure that Hempstead is as strong as it could be. Amen? Amen. We win.
Come on, says we will fight.
We will fight.
And we will win.
And we will win.
Come on, we speak victory.
We speak victory to every trial we're in.
The song says we are overcomers.
We are overcomers.
By the blood of the Lamb.
Blood of the Lamb.
We won't be defeated.
No longer defeated.
We're winners now.
We're winners
da 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 da. Come on, we will fight.
We will fight.
And we will win.
And we will win.
We speak victory. overcome.
We are
By the blood of the
overcomers. By the
Lamb.
blood of the Lamb.
No longer defeated.
No longer defeated.
We're winners now.
We're winners.
Ba da 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 da. The next part says, we always win.
We always win.
We always win.
We always win.
No matter what may come my way, we always. We always win.
We always win.
We always win.
We always win.
No matter what the circumstance, we always win. We always win.
We always win.
We always win.
We always win.
No matter what may come my way, we always win. We always win.
We always win.
We always win.
We always win.
No matter what the circumstance, we always win. The next part says, we will fight, say.
We will fight.
We will win.
We will win.
Come all over Hempstead, we will.
We will fight.
Say, we will win.
We will
Say,
win.
we will fight.
We will fight.
We will win.
We will win.
Say, we will fight.
We will fight.
Say, we will win.
We
Come on, take it
will
up.
win.
Say, we will.
We will fight.
Say, we will.
We will win.
Victorious.
We will fight.
We will win.
We will win.
And conqueror.
We will fight.
We will win.
We will win.
We stand here today.
We will
And
fight.
declare that we will.
We will
Say,
win.
we win.
We will.
We win.
We will.
Say, we win.
We win.
Hey, hey, hey. Move with us, move with us, move with us. We win.
We will.
Against the wall.
We will.
Say, we win.
We win.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Hey, say, we win, we win.
We will.
Against fear.
We will.
We win.
We win.
Yeah. Say, we win.
We will.
We win.
We will.
We win.
We win.
We win.
We win.
We win.
We win.
Because God
We win.
is the greatest.
We win.
The greatest power.
We win.
We will not
We win.
be defeated.
We win.
Be defeated.
We win.
Hempstead, we won't
We win.
be defeated.
We win.
Hempstead, we won't
We win.
be defeated.
We win.
Be defeated.
We win.
We win.
We win.
Against all odds.
We win.
Against all odds.
We win.
Find courage.
We win.
Find strength.
We win.
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 Yes, we do.
We will. We will. We win.
Yeah. Yeah.
Come on, help celebrate Calvary Tabernacle Choir one more time. It reminds us we win. Family and friends, beloved, I am deeply honored to have this opportunity to introduce a hometown hero. Our inaugural speaker for today, none other than the 55th governor of the state of New York, David A. Paterson, who is here celebrating with us today. David Paterson became the first African-American governor of the state of New York in March of 2008. He formerly served as the state's lieutenant governor. Paterson was born into a political family where his father, Basil Paterson, was once New York Secretary of State and Vice Chair of the National Democratic Party. David Paterson has earned a history degree from Columbia University, a law degree from Hofstra University, and was elected to the state senate in 1985, representing Harlem's 29th district as a Democrat. Today, he comes with many skills and one who we have honored and celebrated many times. But today, when we were looking for an inaugural speaker, we thought it would be fitting to have the first African-American governor of the state of New York and a Hempstead hero to come and celebrate today, Inauguration 2021. Now, can you put your hands together as we celebrate today Governor David A. Patterson, the 55th governor of the state of New York. Let us stand and celebrate him as he comes.
Thank you. To the First Lady and Mayor Waylyn Hobbs and his mother, Lillian Hobbs Bixby, the mother of a mayor, not the other thing she mentioned, the mother of a mayor. And to our Congress members, Tom Suozzi and Congressman Jeffries coming all the way from Queens, our County Executive Laura Curran, to our Assembly member Darlings, to Trustee Boone and Trustee Griffith and the presiding Justice Vaughn, and to the former mayors Ryan, Hall, and my main man, if he had run for president, I would have voted for a Republican, Jim Garner. And to everybody here at the Calvary Tabernacle Choir and Church, thank you for those performances. There are in history people of distinction. And I always wonder about the first person who invented fire. And though I believe he or she was probably burned at the stake that they taught their brothers and sisters to light, nevertheless, they offered the world a gift that had never been perceived and lifted darkness from the face of the earth. Throughout the centuries, there have been women and men who took first steps down new roads armed with nothing but their own truth. The thinkers, the artists, the scientists, inventors stood alone against the societies of their time. Every new thought was opposed, every new invention was denounced. And these people who had an unborrowed dignity went ahead. They fought, they suffered, and sometimes they paid for it. But they brought us what we've needed in our community for so long, freedom. And as we move forward, we're going to need more of them, because at every turn, there's a new challenge. Now, I kind of noticed in this most recent election that there weren't a lot of recounts, court cases, all kinds of legal maneuvers and changes to try to, for some reason, reject the feelings of the people. And that's how it is in America. However, there are those who are antagonistic and antithetical to the idea of freedom, who are fighting as we speak to create more problems, such as in the state of Georgia, where they had a presidential election and an election for 2 senators, and the people that didn't like it are now rewriting the laws of the state to direct the election results to come to their chamber rather than the ballot boxes where the people vote. So we are going to need people that we celebrate in history, like Harriet Tubman, who went into the South over 40 times to save her brothers and sisters from slavery. Paul Robeson, a singer, actor, scholar, activist, political scientist, philosopher. He was a lawyer, he was a linguist. He could have gotten along very well by going along with the program, but chose rather to speak out injustice with the truth and almost lost his life for it. Malcolm X, who did lose his life for it and lived in our time and offered us a steadfast, disciplined criticism and honesty about the America as it was for whites as opposed to those 30 million so-called Negroes at that time. These people fought against injustice, they fought against racism, they fought against the biggest challenges to our society, coming from a people who were wearing masks long before the pandemic. And so today, we inaugurate one who walks in the spirit of those who came before us and will hold the feet of this society to the fire when it tries to emasculate any of us in the pursuit of freedom. And he is going to be our mayor. And I hope that he understands that as mayor, he does not have to be any more successful. He just has to keep being the same man that he was when he grew up on Wicklow Avenue, even before they made it Martin Luther King Drive, right here in Hempstead. And so, when Waylyn Hobbs is sworn in today, it will be the beginning of a new era, but it will be the continuance of an era of vigilance and steadfast fostering of the real concepts of our Declaration of Independence and Constitution. But we always have to remember that in our Declaration of Independence, originally, slavery was described as the greatest woe to mankind. But because of a conspiracy between New England slave traders and Southern planters, that line didn't make it to the final cut of the document. And the original Constitution of the United States that made Article 1, Section 2, Clause 3, that permitted slavery in this country while the people that wrote it were fighting against the tyrannies of Europe. The hypocrisy that we have lived in for too many years in this country seems to come to an end, and every time we think we're there, we're faced with just more struggles and more obstacles. But I hope that the Lord up above brings us those obstacles to challenge us to bring forth great people like the man who will be sworn in as mayor today. And remember, the Lord doesn't always get there when we want him to get there, but he is always on time. Thank you very much.
We thank the Honorable David A. Patterson for our inaugural address today. Put your hands together one more time as we celebrate him. At this time, we are so happy to reach this part of our ceremony on today, the administration of the oath of office. And we will begin with Mayor Waylyn Hobbs Jr. Bible will be held by his wife, Lady Donna Hobbs. The introduction of the mayor will come now by Courtney and Kaylin Hobbs, his daughter, and his son, STEFEN Duncan, at this time. And then the Honorable Judge, Aisha K. Brantley, will administer the oath of office in that order.
Thanks, Grandma, for that support. I appreciate it. Hi, everyone. My name is Kaylin Hobbs. I'm the youngest of the three Musketeers over here. Some might say I'm even the best looking. My dad has always, in my lifetime at least, 22 years of age, has always been a leader. So you guys have definitely made a great choice. He's a man that's selfless, courageous, and fearless. He understands what sacrifice means, and there has been time, he understands that it's a 24-hour job, 24/7, 7 days a week. And there's been times where he's even had to step away from his family to help other people. And he's been able to do that with the help of my mom, of course, but he understands what it means to lead. And I think the most important thing that I've learned from my dad is, as a good leader, it's important that you teach your followers how to lead as well. So that means by the time his term is over, he won't just leave here and you guys have a new mayor, but he'll leave you guys being able to lead yourselves and to be able to keep pushing forward and to be able to succeed. It's not just about the person, it's about the people who are, the followers, okay? You're welcome, Dad. What else? Yeah, so I'm happy that he's been elected. I'm known as a military brat, a preacher's daughter, and now the mayor's daughter, so I don't know what's next, but whatever. But, you guys know him as mayor, but the most important title to me would be the title of father. He's kept us all in line. He's not a murderer, but he could be when it comes to his kids. And thank you all for voting for him and making such a great decision. I'm excited to move forward with all of this.
Hi, so I'm Courtney. I'm the middle daughter. You don't get to choose who your parents are, but we still came out and got to choose who our mayor was. So I think that says a lot. I'm really happy and thankful for the Village of Hempstead, just for all of your support. And we're going to show the same support and be here for you. And, we're not scandalous, we're not any of that, so I think we'll all have a great time during these 4 years.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is STEFEN DUNCAN. I am the eldest. I'm 38. Congratulations to my father, and I want to thank everyone who voted, not just for him, that used their power just to vote in general. But you cannot expect change without change, and you have to do that yourself by going out and vote. You can't listen to what he or she say or the naysayers, but you have to do what's right in your heart. As Grandma said, he makes not only her proud, he makes us all proud, because we're all a family, we're all one. There's no perfection without imperfection. I would probably be described as the killer out of anyone out of the family. That just shows my imperfection, but we live and we learn in life. I am a veteran, so go Navy. I served during Operation Iraqi Freedom after 9/11. So I want to thank all the men and women who have served and those who have not made it back home, gone but not forgotten. I have a degree in criminal justice, so my father has inspired me to do certain things in my life, so hopefully I have inspired my younger siblings and also my children. So that way, when it's their turn to have kids, that they can continue to teach them and lead them down the right path. And I hope everyone's enjoying this beautiful day. Get to know your mayor, get to know your trustees. Accountability is the word. You can't complain when stuff is not getting done when you're not holding each individual accountable. Okay, so trust in them, contact each and every one of them, and hopefully they'll take care of you, which I'm sure they will. If not, next go around, if change need to be made, express your vote. Thank you.
Okay, so without further ado, we'd like to present your mayor-elect, Waylyn Hobbs, Jr.
I'm going to ask that you raise your right hand and place your left hand on the Bible and repeat after me. I I, Waylyn Hobbs Jr.,
I, Waylyn Hobbs Jr.,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of New York,
and the Constitution of the State of New York,
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties
and I will faithfully discharge the duties
of the office of mayor
of the office of mayor
of the Village of Hempstead
of the Village of Hempstead
to the best of my ability.
to the best of my ability.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations, Mayor Hobbs.
We will have the oath of office now for Trustee Kevin D. Boone. Bible will be held by daughter Megan Boone. The introduction of the trustee will come from Michael Boone, his brother, and administering the oath of office, the Honorable Judge Maxine Broderick.
Good afternoon. I'm glad to be home. See, I've been living in New Jersey for about 20 years or so, but I still call Hempstead my home. It will always be my home. I'm privileged to be here to speak about a man that I've known my entire life. I've been contemplating pretty much what I would say about him since I was asked to do this. And, you know, basically there's a lot of stuff on the program and a lot of stuff on the mailers, but it doesn't really tell you anything about the man, you know? Kevin Boone is a dedicated public servant. He's been employed by the Village of Hempstead for many years in different capacities. He served with integrity and distinction for many years. He's been retired for the last 2 years, about 2 years. But he still continues to serve. He's been probably the most notable thing that I could say that he's been a volunteer firefighter for the past 24 years, where he rose to the rank of lieutenant and captain. And again, since he's retired, he's still serving. He has a foundation. He was follows after my dad, who was a public servant for many years, and my mother. And it goes without saying that we are all proud of him. He has 2 beautiful daughters, and he has 2 young future kings as grandsons, and a beautiful granddaughter, a future queen. And it goes without saying that your entire family, we're very proud of you. So, without further ado, I'd like to introduce my big brother, Kevin Boone.
Good afternoon, Hempstead family. So put your left hand on the Bible, please, and raise your right hand, and please repeat after me. I,
Kevin D. Boone,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of New York,
the Constitution of the State of New York.
And that I will faithfully discharge
I will faithfully discharge
the duties of the office of
trustee of the Corporated Village of Hempstead
to the best of my
to
ability.
the best of my ability.
That's
So
it.
help me God.
Congratulations, trustee.
this time, the administration of the oath of office by trustee Clarona D. Griffith. Bible will be held by Clarona Gardner, her son. Introduction of the trustee Blair Gardner, and the administration of the oath of office, the Honorable Judge Maxine Broderick.
Good afternoon, everyone. Okay. My name is Blair, and I'm the son of our New Village trustee, Clarona Griffith. First and foremost, I want to congratulate all those who were elected, and I also want to say thank you for everyone who came out, local and government officials, family, friends, and residents of the village of Hempstead. Now, I'm here today to introduce our New Village trustee, Clarona Griffith. Now, as I mentioned before, I am her son, so at least you know she didn't pay me to say any of this. This is actually my way of paying her back. So for those who are wondering, who is Clarona Griffith? How do we know she's gonna do right by our community? Well, just to let you know, this didn't happen overnight. So you can let your guards down now because she is a tiger for life. She is a woman of integrity. She is someone who does so many volunteer services all throughout the world. She is the president of the Chamber of Commerce, a member of the Hempstead's Landing Trust, and she is also a member of the Hempstead's Caring Hearts. But although she wears many hats, her heart never changes and her vision remains the same. She is a God-fearing woman that attends the World Mission Society Church of God, that believes in God the Father and God the Mother. She doesn't just wait for things to happen, she goes out and makes it happen. From doing volunteer services to feeding the homeless, providing shelters for those in need, she's always giving. One thing she's always instilled in me is you haven't failed even once until you've given up. So for her to stand in the forefront and serve this village, I know failure is not an option. Just say when and where, and she'll be there. And lastly, she is a phenomenal mother. And I am so proud today to be her son. Growing up, I watched her work hard. Nothing was ever handed to her. So today it is truly an honor to see her hands receive what her deeds deserve. So with that being said, I would like to introduce to everyone our New Village trustee, Clarona Griffith.
Please place your left hand on the Bible and raise your right hand. I state your name.
I, Clarona Griffith,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of New York,
and the Constitution of the State of New York,
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties
and I will faithfully discharge the duties
of the office of trustee
of the office of trustee
of the Village of Hempstead
of the Village of Hempstead
to the best of my ability.
to the best of my ability.
Congratulations, trustee.
Thank you.
We are happy for the oath of office for our, and I was corrected, the youngest village judge, not just in Hempstead, but in the state of New York on today, Justice Brianna A. Vaughn. Bible will be held by her father, Otis Vaughn. Introducing the justice is her mother, Zareda Vaughn, and administering the oath of office, the Honorable Judge Maxine Broderick.
Y'all gonna have to bear with me now. You know, proud mama might cry. Good afternoon, everybody. Giving honor to God, family members, friends, and the Village of Hempstead community. We welcome you today. It is my honor to introduce to you our daughter, Brianna Vaughn. She attended the Hempstead Public Schools from Jackson Annex to Hempstead High School. As a little kid, she said, "Mom, I want to be a lawyer and I want to be a singer." Well, you know, she did sing in the Hempstead High School chorale, and she sung in the little middle schools and everything like that. She always wanted to sing, like I said, but she strived to always be an attorney. From speaking contests in grammar school, from starting the law club in ABGS Middle School, and from being the president of the Hempstead High School graduation class of 2010. After graduating high school, she attended SUNY Albany, and she returned to her sophomore year, and she worked at the as an intern in Nassau County District Court under Kathleen Rice. As she worked at the Heroin Prevention Task Force, the Bedbug Prevention Task Force, and she continued efforts and she advocated for the young student that was slain at the Hempstead High School. She came back and she did a lot of things for that. She also worked as a resident assistant, a senator at the Student Association, Justice, the Student Association Court, and she was a member of the organizations including the Big Brother and Big Sister Phenomenal Voices, all while she was working full-time for the Center of Disability, and she helped mental challenged kids. During other summers, she interned for attorney Fred Burrington. Therefore, she was able to attend court. She was able to check briefs and do things like that. She did case preparations, and it strengthened her love for the law. After that, she came back. She graduated SUNY Albany with a double degree in political science and English with high honors, which I'm very proud of. Then, after she graduated, she attended Albany Law School. There, when she was attending law school, she focused on her criminal law, and she participated in the family violence clinic and both the domestic violence prosecution clinic. She also did pro bono hours and served over 400 hours, and she got an honor for that too, for the pro bono. She was president of the Black Student Law Club Association at Albany Law School, and she became president of that also. After graduating, she returned home and she started working at the Nassau County District Attorney's Office under Madeline Singers and was part of the Hempstead Initiative District Court. She co-chaired the Youth Advisory Council and enjoyed mentoring the students on Terrace Avenue. She has always had a great love for Hempstead and for her community. She always said, "Mom, I'm going to come back and I want to make a change." And again, is proud to introduce our daughter, Brianna Ashley Vaughn, your next youngest at Hempstead, Village Justice of Hempstead.
So I hope you'd indulge me. I just want to make a few remarks. I want to congratulate, at this point, she's our Village Justice-elect, Miss Vaughn, who has appeared before me in district court just down the block when she was an assistant district attorney. And she always conducted herself with professionalism and integrity. And I expect many more great things to come. And I'm always here to encourage and support you. So, left hand on the Bible, raise your right hand, and please repeat after me. I, state your name.
I, Brianna Ashley Vaughn,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of New York,
and the Constitution of the State of New York,
and that I will faithfully discharge
and that I will faithfully discharge
the duties of the office of
the duty of the office of Village Justice. of
Village
Hempstead.
Justice
Village Justice
of the Village of Hempstead
of the Village of Hempstead
to the best of my ability.
to the best of my ability.
Congratulations, Justice Vaughn. And I think we can all agree that looks very good on her. Congratulations.
If you will all indulge me for a second, I know my counterparts did not make a speech, so I will not make the speech that I prepared.
but I want to say, Hempstead, we did it. It honestly takes a village, and I am the child that Hempstead bred. So I want to say thank you to my tribe, thank you to everyone who helped us on our campaign, and thank you to everyone who supported us. I love you all.
Thank you. Family and friends beloved, would you rise as we present now our new mayor, Mayor Waylyn Hobbs Jr.
Thank you. You may be seated. It is a great day in the village of Hempstead. Come on, Hempstead, let's give ourselves a round of applause. I prepared a speech, but we've heard so many speeches, and I am not going to hold you. I want to say, first of all, thank everyone for coming out to make this day a great day in the village of Hempstead. I want to thank our inauguration committee. Can we give them a hand? Doesn't this look beautiful? What a great job they did. To my lovely wife, Donna Hobbs, will you stand? Our First Lady of the village of Hempstead, who has recently returned home after a year-long deployment as she serves as a lieutenant commander in the Navy Reserves. So I say welcome home and thank you for your service. To my wonderful children, STEFEN, Kaylin, and Courtney, can we give them a hand? They always make me proud. To my mother, Mother Hobbs, Lillian Hobbs, Bigby, can we give her a hand? Now, I asked my mother very nicely, please, there's two things I don't want you to do. I don't want you to preach, and I don't want you to embarrass me. She did one of the two, so we want to say thank you. I love my mother. Can we give her another hand? I want to say this, that I appreciate my mother when her and my father, who has passed on, separated. Single-handedly, she raised 4 kids on her own. She worked 2 jobs. She did without so that we could have. I never knew how poor we was because she did a wonderful job in providing for her family. And so, again, I want to thank my mother. Can we give her another hand? I'm happy to have my mother-in-law, Rose Patterson, here. Will you wave your hand? We thank God for her. To my siblings, my brother, my sisters, to all of my family who are here today, can we give them a hand? Thank you so much. To our clergy, I mean, we have pastors not only locally in Hempstead, but we have pastors that have come from all our boroughs, even as far as South Carolina. I want to acknowledge my son in ministry, Bishop Austin from Columbia, South Carolina. Where is he? I know he's here somewhere. All right, let's give them a hand. They made it all the way from South Carolina to celebrate with us here in the village of Hempstead. Hempstead, again, it is a great day in the village of Hempstead. After a contentious race, one that had a difference of opinions and sometime almost borderline on challenging our democratic process. It is now time for us to unite. It is time for us to put our differences aside and focus on being one village. I stand here today to promise you that it makes no difference your party, your race, creed, or color. I am the mayor for the entire village of Hempstead. I want to thank all of our elected officials who have come here today from the town, county, state, and even on the federal government level. Let's give them a hand. That is so important. To our former mayors, Mayor Gardner, Mayor Hall, can we give them a hand? We thank God for you. And to Mayor Hall, I served as his deputy mayor, and it was a privilege working with him, and we want to continue to build on that the mayors before me have brought to Hempstead. And again, can we give them a hand? Last but not least, to Mayor Don Ryan, we thank you not only for your 4 years of service as mayor, but your many years of service to the residents of the village of Hempstead. We appreciate it, and it will not go unnoticed. I want to recognize our chiefs today, the Chief of Police, Chief Paul Johnson. Will you stand? Our Chief Holland, will you stand? Our Chief Cogan, will you stand? Let's give our chiefs a big hand. Trying to move this along as quick as possible. I want to share with the village of Hempstead that as my family shared and those from the church, I want to thank my church family for being here. I am a person that believes that it's more important when you're leading people not to enable people, but to empower people. And this is what we need in the village of Hempstead. We don't need any more handout. We need to come together as a community and plot our own course. We no longer need people from the outside giving us direction for Hempstead, but it's Hempstead for Hempstead. Come on, let's put our hands together. I want to be clear today that I want to plot a blueprint for a better Hempstead. And that blueprint begins with accountability. I believe that the residents of the village of Hempstead deserve quality services for their tax dollars. We must be accountable to the people that live here, have work to do better. We must, as elected officials and employees of the village of Hempstead, provide those services. Now, I know that we have some wonderful, hard-working employees of the village of Hempstead that go above and beyond to make sure that they supply that quality services to the residents of Hempstead. And can we give those hard-working employees a big hand? But I also realize that we have a few who feel that because of their political connection, who hired them, that they are not to be held accountable. I want to share something with you. As a pastor, I believe in looking at the best in people and that people can change. But as your mayor, to those that think it's going to be business as usual, I'm looking to change people. We must make sure that we do the right thing by all the residents of the village of Hempstead. I realize that it is such a privilege to have all of our elected officials, again, that have come from our town, our county, state, and even our federal government. And I want them to know that we're looking for the proper help that Hempstead deserves. We check all the boxes so that we can get funding to repair our roads, that we can do better in building a great Hempstead. And so we don't want you to just come not only to celebrate this occasion or come when you're looking for votes, but we're looking for you to come with some funding and money so that we can improve the quality of life in the village of Hempstead and bring the resources that we need. I also want to commend the men and women of the Hempstead Police Department. Can we give them a hand? And the reason I wanted to say that is because in light of the governor's police reform package here in the village of Hempstead, before he even thought of a police reform package, our chiefs had begun to set a standard that makes sure that our police provide the protection that our community deserves. They put in place things that will hold our officers accountable. And so I want to give them a round of applause for starting something before the governor even came up with it. And listen, as we know in every profession, we have some people that don't do the right thing. But my thing to the residents of the village of Hempstead, just as we do not expect our police officers to look at all of our residents as criminals, we can't look at all of our police officers as being bad. We have officers who are dedicated to do the right thing. And I will make sure that we continue to build on that community relationship. And as you slow down when you drive through Garden City, as you slow down when you drive through Rockville Center, we need you to give us the same respect in the village of Hempstead and not act like this is a raceway. And therefore, I'm charging our chief of police to make sure that we beef up our traffic enforcement here in the village of Hempstead. I am tired of seeing cars ride through here like it's the Autobahn. And so to my friends who have already told me, as you being the mayor, if I speed through Hempstead, I'm going to mention your name. I wouldn't do that if I was you. I'm giving our officers instructions to make sure that we make Hempstead a safer place. We had an opportunity to bring in a private company to be crossing guards instead of Hempstead doing that, in order to free up our neighborhood aides. And we are able to free up our neighborhood aides not to park somewhere and hide, but to make sure we address the parking infractions in the village of Hempstead. I'm tired of riding around the neighborhood seeing cars double park without any tickets. And this is not about revenue, it's about safety. So let's make sure we do what we have to do to represent the wonderful people who live in the village of Hempstead. I want to thank those who voted for me and even those that didn't vote for me. Again, I am the mayor of all the people. I want to thank the team that worked so hard volunteering to make phone calls, our campaign committee, and I'm not going to call everybody by name, but I promise you at a later date, I'm going to personally acknowledge you, and I got to put together a celebration for your hard work, because without you, we would not be in office. And so we appreciate you. Can we give them a hand again, all the wonderful volunteers that did such a great job. And so in conclusion, as I promised not to hold you long, I want to say we are looking to move forward in making sure that we get better distribution when it comes to the vaccine. Our community was affected the most with this coronavirus. And so I'm asking again, our governor, when he comes up with pop-up location, please give us enough notice so that we can make sure when it happens in Hempstead that the residents of Hempstead get the shots before people outside of Hempstead. And so we must make sure that we improve on that vaccination. I want to thank Calvary Choir for doing such a wonderful job, and they're going to come back. Listen, they're a singing choir, and we appreciate them. I want to also acknowledge that your vote of confidence was not just for me as mayor, but your vote of confidence was for our entire ticket. Thank you for electing Kevin Boone as trustee. Thank you for electing Corona Griffith as trustee. Thank you for electing Brianna Vaughn as village justice. God bless Hempstead and God bless America. Thank you.